So, my man Dennis, it's been 2 weeks because your brother interrupted us.
Finally.
So rudely.
Oh, Lord. Yes. JoJo was here. I put him to work.
Doing
Paid for his trip. We went to Farmington Hills in Plymouth, Michigan for birthday celebrations for our Aunt Norma's 100th birthday.
Wow.
And she bought 30 of us lunch at Three Brothers Polish restaurant. And then we had a delightful after party at their house. And very interesting, you know, my Aunt Norma's two daughters, Anne and Paula, they're both quite creative, as was Norma in her youth, and to this day is a calligrapher, among other things.
100-year-old calligrapher.
Yes.
Wow.
But Charlie, who's Paula's husband, is a glassblower.
Okay.
And when we opened up a package from Paula and Charlie, there was white tissue paper, but on top of it were blue feathers.
Shards of glass.
And you blew the feathers away and opened it up, and there was a little box, a little gift box that had a little glass blown bluebird.
Oh, nice.
Well, anyway.
It's pretty. Yeah, I see it.
And a story that when Aunt Norma was asked about the theme of her birthday, she said bluebirds. And someone said, well, why that? And she said, I can't put my finger on it, but bluebirds. And she liked the song, apparently, you know, bluebird, looking at me, and the sunshine do I see. That song. And then...
I was going to go with Zippity Doo Dah, but... It's bluebird on my shoulder.
Yeah, that's got it too.
Yeah.
So the family then looked up the imagery and importance of bluebirds and lyrical history or whatever, and told a story about the bluebirds' meaningfulness, and then we each had blue feathers to wear, and we had a tattoo of Norma, her face, which was the size of a golf ball. I put that on my forehead and pinned
temporary
blue feathers
tattoo
everywhere.
Yes, okay.
And wore bright blue everything. So anyway,
cool.
There we are. And of course the bluebirds were in the gifts. We bought her one of those little floppy things that when the wind hits it, it's a bluebird flying. We had 3 of those, and another had like a thing to hold napkins and stuff that was decorated with bluebirds, and it was the theme, and bluebirds were everywhere. And so we're at the after party, and Aunt Norma's daughter, Anne's daughter, Jasmine, at her house put out some pictures, and the only thing she could put her hands on, as strange as it is, are pictures from the wake of our grandfather, who died when he was just shy of 100.
Okay.
He died when he was 99, and so we had a big feast, smorgasbord at the local church, and all dressed in our finery, all lively and fun. And then this woman, relative, says to me, "Did you see this? Why is this picture of this bluebird in the center of this picture?" And there, like all the pictures at the wake, dark hues.
How long ago was the wake?
25 years ago.
Okay.
And then you could see that my uncle was standing in front of what appeared to be an easel, and on the easel it appeared to be a painting of a bluebird.
Whoa.
And he was showing it to who we think is a friend of our family, Dave Finan. And so my theory is that image may account for what made Norma
Right.
think about a bluebird.
Hey, that's the way the mind
Because
works.
growing up in her house, her father had painted a bluebird and it hung in their living room, or
Yeah, sure.
knowing my grandmother in the bathroom, who knows. But anyway, it was very strange that in the darkened hues of this assembly were people dressed in blacks and grays and not a lot of color, somber wake. In the middle of one of those more somber like pictures is this
Bright blue, yeah.
bright image of a bluebird, like on a white background. I mean,
Cool.
wow, like right in the center of the picture. Very strange.
Good story.
Bluebirds looking at me, nothing but bluebirds do I see. Sunshine beating on me, get that fucking sunshine away from me. La la la, da 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 bum, ba da da pop pop, da 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 bum. That's a great
Bluebird,
song.
give me my sunscreen. Yeah.
Ba da pop pop, da da pop.
So I
So
got
that was fun. And we had many beers and told many stories, and
nice.
I drove us home.
Cool.
That was
cool.
our adventure. So you've been in
Done a couple things.
the Tar Heel State. I know you overnighted on an island and took a canoe trip. Those are two things I know you did.
Yep. So, when my father first proposed it, he what the planning trip, what the planning for the camping trip was going to be, he started it off being like, there probably won't be too many bears. And like this freaked out my wife. She was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! I don't want to be in a tent when there's bears creeping around." And like it was kind of facetious, but not entirely. Like there are bears around. But so what we did was we went out on John's boat. So John provided, like, this could be a service that he could charge.
All the equipment, tenting.
He could charge He could have charged $500 or $1,000 for this 2-day thing that he gave us. He gave us all the tents, all the equipment, all the stove, and the tarp to set up over the picnic table, and the kayak, and just everything. And so when we got to the lake, he had already gone out with a buddy of his to like drop off all of his supplies. So he just picked up us and our little bit of food that we brought, and took us to this campsite, which was on his boat. It's only like a 8-minute ride on the lake to get to where the campsite is. But we got there, and the kid, well, all of us together. John helped a little bit, but he really let us kind of struggle to figure out how to put the darn tents together.
Yeah.
And boy, tent technology sure is amazing. Like whoever came up with the idea of having a bit of elastic cord that goes through all the tent pole pieces, like freaking genius. And we set up the tents, and like my wife and I had little cots, so like we weren't sleeping right on the ground. And the kids were sleeping on the ground, but they had some pads to sleep on. And we set up the tents, and then we strung up the tarp through by like connecting to nearby trees. And so that was kind of an exciting thing to put together. And so yeah, we set that up, and then John was like, "Okay, see you guys tomorrow," and off he went, and so there we were. We had
Did you have coolers full of ice?
we had coolers full of ice and some beers and some wine and another cooler with our food. That was on the first night. We had salmon, and also I brought a couple of onions, and John gave us some like squash and zucchini from his garden, and I cooked up a vegetable sort of stir fry thing as the side to the salmon. It was I was there cooking while my family was out swimming in the lake that evening, and that was lovely. It turned out really nice. And then we had s'mores. We set up a little fire, and we had brought the graham crackers and the marshmallows and the Hershey's bars, and my kids had a great time making the s'mores. My wife and I were sitting there in chairs looking out at the lake with a couple of beers, and every once in a while the kids would bring over a s'more for us to eat. It was divine. And so then it got relatively dark, and so we all went to bed, and we woke up the next morning, and we hadn't properly put away our marshmallows and our graham crackers.
Raccoons got them.
And the campsite came with little bear boxes to put your shit in, but we didn't think that marshmallows were going to be I don't know. We were super novice campers, let's say. And so we found some wrappers of stuff like 50 feet away, and all of our marshmallows were gone. So like some raccoons got to some serious sugar high that night.
Yeah, right.
Eating all those marshmallows. That's a lot of fucking calories.
You'll have to settle for graham cracker melted chocolate.
Yeah. So that was a learning experience. And so then we knew for the next night we were going to be better. And so then the following day, John and my mother came over on the boat. The first thing we did, we woke up and made some coffee. I had thought that we didn't need to like cook breakfast. We could just have like some yogurt and granola or something just for an easy breakfast. But then for the second day, we decided, no, actually, we would like some eggs and bacon. But because my mother was coming to visit us between the two nights that we stayed there, she was able to bring us more supplies, so she got us more marshmallows and things. But that morning, you wake up on the lake and you go out for a swim, and the water is warmer than the air, and it's like your own private lake, your own enormous swimming pool. Yeah. And because the people with the boats and stuff don't arrive until like 10 a.m.
Yeah.
But so from 8 or 7, like it's just your own private lake.
So there's somewhat of a popular beach there that people boat over?
Not even, no. No, but right in front of our campsite, there was a little island. It was about maybe 100 feet away, 200. And over on that little island, there was a little bit of a beach, but someone had hung a hammock. And so we decided to swim over there and sit in the hammock. And my wife and I, and while we were over there, the kids from the campground said, "Hey, do you want us to kayak over there and bring you guys like books and a couple drinks or something?" And we were like, "Yeah, that sounds nice." So we waited over there, just in the total peace, looking up at the morning sky. It was really, really lovely. And then John and my mother got there, and we took the boat out the way we often have in the past to like some spot where we can jump off the boat and swim and have a merry time. But then like a storm started coming, and we needed to get a move on, and so we went back to the camp, and we said, "Hey, John, do you want to take this garbage bag that we've already filled up from yesterday?" And he was like, "No, we'll pick that up the next day." But what he forgot to tell us is, "Oh, by the way, you should like hang that up in a tree somewhere."
Oh yeah, that got it. Oh Lord.
So
big mess.
So
2 days in a row. You did the same stupid shit.
No.
Jesus.
So that evening there was a kind of a big storm. It got really close. It didn't really hit us, but it rained a little bit, and there was lightning very nearby. And it got windy.
Well, that's cool in a tent.
It got windy in the way that it gets windy right before a storm appears. And so like there were several times where we had to like, oh my God, everything's going to blow away. Let's get everything and put it in the bear containers so it doesn't blow away, and like maybe hide in the tent if it's going to rain or something. But then it like got nicer again, so we brought it out back out again, and then like it was going to rain again, so we like there were like 3 or 4 times where we like had to hide everything. And the result of that is that afterwards you're not really sure where anything is because everything's been haphazardly put away and then brought back out again. So when it got to dinner time, we couldn't find the goddamn corkscrew. So we had a bottle of wine, a lovely bottle of wine sitting in front of us, but we couldn't take the damn cork out.
You never figured out how to otherwise do it?
Well, I know there's a way with a shoe where you like bang it against a tree, but I wouldn't try that on
a knife. Cut the cork in 4 pieces and then filter the wine through the glass.
Through the glass?
Through the tube, filter it as it comes out of the bottle before it hits the glass.
Right, with something. I guess we had a coffee filter.
A piece of tissue paper, paper towel would do the trick.
Well, that's not gonna hold up.
Or break the bottle off and don't worry about shredded glass.
Turns out we were able to survive without wine that night. So that was also an option. It was just disappointing. And then later, the next morning, we found the corkscrew. But
yeah.
So the next morning,
it's foreign to me that you would succumb to not having it. I can't imagine the scenario where we decided that we would get it open.
It was a nice bottle. It wasn't cheap wine. So we had hung up our trash on because to get our tarp to be nice and high, I had found a piece of driftwood that was like a 9-foot branch that we had propped up as like the main mast of our tarp, and it had little nodules coming off of it. So like we hung up our trash, but then we left like some coolers and a crate nearby that basically formed a little step ladder up to the up to the bear box from that you could get to the trash.
Raccoons again?
So this time, when we woke up, there were perfect little muddy raccoon prints on our cooler. And they had gotten into some stuff. It wasn't as bad as the previous night, but we felt like doofuses yet again.
Again.
So it goes.
Well, it's 100% record for having been there only 2 mornings.
Right, exactly. But it was pretty comfortable camping, really. Like we had two little campsites that we had booked both of them. So like one of them, they would be too close if there were other people there. But like one of them was where we put our tents, and the other was where we had our cooking and table and stuff. And there was an outhouse. There was a little building nearby that was just a hole that you could poop in. But
yeah, Right.
At least you're not digging your own hole and wiping with leaves or anything like proper outdoorsmanship. But
Did you ever have to wipe your ass with leaves?
I've done that.
Yeah. Did your finger poke through?
I don't recall. I might have double leafed.
You would.
I might have double leafed.
Even a triple leaf, the itchiest finger can slip through.
Well, then you just wash it off in the lake, and that's fine.
Be careful, it's not poison ivy or poison sumac. End up looking like a fucking ass end of an orangutan.
Right. We did find near the camp was apparently one of the most poisonous mushrooms in the world. Was nearby. So that was
red with a white top.
White with a red top, yeah. But and then the second morning, my wife and I got up at like 6 a.m. or something, and we went out on the kayak on our own private pristine lake where the steam was coming off because the water was so hot.
Yeah.
And it was just glorious. A lovely.
And then went
experience.
back and cooked bacon and eggs.
And went back and cooked bacon on the grill and eggs in the frying pan, and it was a big hit.
What a perfect vacation.
Right?
A vacation within a vacation.
That's what we call it. And then John came and we had to tear everything down. And John said, in his experience during the tear down, where like morale kind of takes a nosedive because it's like, oh, it's over. Still got all this work to do. People can. It's easy to get testy about like, why aren't you cooperating, helping to tear this down? But no, it was. We got everything down and back in the boat, and it was just a fantastic few days.
Sounds great. Yeah, Lake James. I've had many fine experiences on Lake James. Almost all with John White, I think.
And it was such a like. Here's the Yelp review from my family. Why was it only 2 nights? Like, and also we have to do this every year now.
Oh boy!
So good old John. But John, according to John, he had as much fun as we did. Just like
putting it together for you. Well, knowing John like we know John, all of John's camping equipment's in one spot.
Right. And
it's not like he has to gather it up. He just backs his truck up and it's all there.
Right.
He just decides what to bring and what not to bring. He's a quintessential organizer, and he is well known from acquiring more and more things and then simply building more buildings to house them.
Yeah, and he's so avuncular with the kids, and he could be my uncle too. Like it's he really enjoys the time he spends with us, I think. So that was fantastic.
Yes.
And then
we did a Sunday fun day with JoJo. We jumped in the car and drove west to Lake Michigan and went to our favorite first stop, Haymarket Brewery, with their outside chairs in the sun. It was 70 degrees, and we each had a beer that all three of us agreed on, called Chicago Tavern Beer. Wonderful. And there was music, a guy with a guitar who played a few chords and then recorded it and then started playing lead to his own recording. Very high, sweet voice. And I went from there to another brewery, had another great beer, and ordered a great dinner, and then went to the beach and sat at the beach for almost 2 hours. I fell asleep apparently for an hour, which I had intended. I didn't know that I actually did it. Quite a day. Quite a day on Lake Michigan. I mean, perfect weather that you could lay in the shade on the beach and not be cold or hot. Just fall right asleep. Bam. And man, the water was to me it was cold. I kind of thought at one point that I was going to go in, but then realized that falling asleep was a much better idea. And on the way back, we drove through the little town of Paw Paw, Michigan, where there's a lake called Maple Lake right in the middle of town. You drive right over it. There's an amphitheater, and in the amphitheater was playing my brother Joe's favorite band, Kalamazoo's own Out of Favor Boys, with
Really?
T-Bone on the saxophone.
Yep.
We drove right by them playing
Wow.
and pulled up and parked and went and listened to one tune, took a piss and moved on. So crazy day.
Nice.
Came
Very
home
cool.
and had another. I think I had a scotch maybe outside. I don't know what I did. No, I probably was just sacked out. That driving after drinking beers all day is
Yeah.
taxing.
It is. It's exhausting. Nice. So the other adventure we went on was cousin Phil took us down the river. He scared my wife a little bit when he said that he hadn't been down the river since Hurricane Helene had flooded everything. And so we were like, whoa! So we don't even know if you can go down the river, but no, people have been going down the river. But so we met up with him early in the morning because it was going to rain that afternoon, and we all got in our kayaks, and we at the spot where we were going to get on, there was another group of people there that were river conservationists. They had a bunch of equipment and stuff where their task for the day was to go down the river and stop and clean up debris that Helene had left, which is pretty cool that there are people that do that.
Yeah.
And that was lovely. It's a totally different experience than previous years where the river's been really low, where I don't know, the water runs faster in places, but also it gets so shallow that you got to maybe push off the ground with your paddle.
Back in the day? It was that shallow back in the day?
Yeah, in past years, yeah. But this time it was much more full and wide. It had been raining for the past 2 weeks, so there was plenty of water.
It's superseded its traditional shoreline.
Yeah, it was. Yes, I think so.
I remember the picture, thinking it was a little floody looking.
Yeah, and so that was awesome. There's just something magical about floating down a river.
Oh yeah.
I understand why there's just this inevitability. It's a metaphor for life. You're just being carried along, and what comes around the next bend is you're gonna have to experience it.
And you've got to make decisions about what to do about it.
Right.
My wife and I took a river trip and had the miscalculation. And I hold myself responsible, but the canoe ended up being kind of sideways against a branch in a current. And the more the current ran steady, and I knew what I had to do, which was to push off. But I also had another person in the canoe who was none too happy.
Yes.
And who seemed very agitated. And so I had to deal not only with the physics of what I was going to do, which is to get out, push the canoe forward and quickly get in it.
With the social engineering of managing the other passenger.
Yes. And as I pushed it, of course, it went further in the current, which was even more frightening and scream-worthy, apparently.
Apparently, yes.
And then righted the ship and jumped in, and that was that.
Nice. We only had one. At one point, my daughter got turned in a way, and she was going to go under an overhanging branch, and she had the idea of like holding onto the branch, thinking that she could maybe stop for a minute and regroup. But she held onto the branch, and the kayak went out from under her, and she plopped in. And then
she plopped in the water.
Yeah, but like had the wherewithal to like keep a hold on her kayak. She did drop the paddle, which I was able to recover a little bit downriver, but she was the only casualty of our.
And a mild one at that.
Yeah, and it was warm water on a warm day, so it was fine. But it was cool that like getting out of the river at the place where we get out, you gotta. Well, first of all, Phil has this saying when we get in. He says, "Everyone has to participate in their own rescue," which I think is fantastic. Like, if you get into trouble, you need to it's not entirely on you to get out, but like you need to participate. But so when we got out, it's a super muddy bank. Like Helene had destroyed the little steps that he had put in there.
Yeah,
and it was kind of hard to pull your darn kayak out of there. But we all did it. Like even my 12-year-old son.
How many kayaks?
There were four of us, and Phil was on a paddleboard. So 4. But like my 12-year-old son pulled his really heavy
paddleboard.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. In past years, I've had that, and that's the most amazing, to just stand on a paddleboard and go down the river. But my 12-year-old son pulled his really heavy kayak out of the water, and like Phil's way of raising his kid was just let the kid struggle, and he'll be stronger for it. And so we just like it took him a while, but he pulled that darn thing out of there. So that was cool. And then
which river?
John
White's.
Yes, it's his lake and his river.
He finally bought a river.
Yeah. So there's that, and
the other. Did you have a hootenanny when you were there, or you're there now? Are you going to have a hootenanny?
No, I'm going back in 2 days. I think.
Hey, did you get my song list?
I saw it printed out on the printer here. You sent it to my father too, and he printed it out to see if he can learn some of them. I don't know, but yes, I saw it.
That was a 5-hour set list.
That's pretty impressive.
Not our alpha songs. We got 10 more than that. Well, my man, I'm fading fast.
All right, well, we'll make this a short one. I was a little late, and probably got to go to dinner. But the exciting part of what's going on this week is that my son and I are flying back to Spain, and my daughter's not.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
She has started her junior year at high school here, and it's terrifying in all the ways you would expect, but amazing.
But exhilarating.
Also. Yeah.
Exhilarating.
So talk about going down a river you can't control. Oof. Rolling down the river. rolling.
If you go down to the river, people on the river are happy to give. But I never lost a good sight of a city till I took a ride on the riverboat queen. Big wheels keep on churning, proud Mary keep on burning. Rolling,
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 rolling.
rolling on the river. Da 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 da. Tina Turner, man, did you see the documentary?
No,
She
but I've
transformed herself into a rock and roll star for the ages. It's incredible. It's incredible.
But I have seen a recording of a concert where she did that song and understand just what a phenomenon that she
nuts.
was.
I gotta pass out.
Peace.
Rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. I say rolling, 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 rolling on the river.
Alrighty, that's it for episode number 259. You can find these show notes at happyhour.fm/259. There's not a lot there because we didn't talk about a lot of medium things, more about our lives. It was kind of a short episode because I was a little bit late. I apologize for that. You can go to patreon.com/happyhour to help support the show. And at the Gin Martinis level, you can watch video of these shenanigans. See you next week.